Hi everybody, how you doing? I am Johann, that is Charleston. Joining us today, we have one of our favorite topics. This man is the president and owner of Rebellion Brewery here in Regina, I was going to say Saskatoon, in Regina, Saskatchewan, Mr. Mark Heise. Mark, how are you doing today?
I'm fantastic. It's another day making beer, so it's always a good day.
Yeah, I love the mustache. I love Charleston was just talking about your shirt earlier.
Looking at that mustache, the shirt, the hairdo, the glasses. Man, what is going on?
The only thing I'm envious. He's drinking beer, and we forgot to be able to bring on some beers for the show here. Mark, how are you doing? How's things?
Oh, like I say, things are great. You know, I don't know. I mean, whatever has happened in the last year, I think everyone's just kind of sick and tired of it. But the good thing is that no, people didn't stop drinking beer. So we've been doing, everyone's had their own challenges, but we've been doing okay. And busy. There's always something new happening at Rebellion. So
yeah, and that's one of the things I'm going to touch base about too. Is that Charleston and I were there drinking. Your fantastic server Jazz was helping us out on Saturday. We were in there.
Oh yeah, it was good. Zilla IPA.
Yeah, we were in there. Let's talk about how this all started. Mark, you were the first microbrewery in Saskatchewan, correct?
I don't know if we were the first. But we've been open for almost 7 years now. And, a whole bunch of other breweries have opened since then. 6 breweries opened in Saskatchewan in 2020 in the middle of a pandemic, which is pretty exciting. But yeah, we've definitely been the loudest and most boisterous, I would say that. We don't shy away from drawing attention to ourselves.
Yeah, and that's one thing. If you guys know anything about Mark and everybody at Rebellion, Paul and the staff there, and you're definitely well worth your weight in entertainment for when you go to their websites, when you follow them on their social media. Everything they have to do is built in, seems around fun, whether that's seeing Mark in shorts, jean shorts, and a nice shirt and a cowboy hat in minus 30-degree temperature. He's out there taking these nice social media posts or anything like that. But Mark, tell us a little bit about your beer and how that's really transformed and how things have been here in Saskatchewan, because I know I've been in the beer industry for about 20 years. And as per most things, Saskatchewan's usually the last to the dance in terms of changing and getting, away from the norm in the alcohol industry. So
last to dance everything.
Yeah. So how has that been for you to be able to get into the craft beer industry and change people's perceptions about beer here in Saskatchewan?
I think that's one of the things I'm most proud of is that I always really wanted to turn other people on to what we were doing, what I was doing, and how much I enjoyed craft beer, all the flavors that are there. And it's not just beer. It extends into hummus and all sorts of things. I know we were talking about hummus earlier. Hummus is fantastic. I want more people to know about that kind of stuff. So that's kind of always been my thing. Even when I was just homebrewing at home, I was always trying to figure out how can I share this knowledge. And so I was even doing beer tastings at the library back then. I wasn't getting paid for it, but I was just really excited. I wanted to teach people. And I'm actually doing another library tasting in a couple of weeks, online, of course. But yeah, I'm still I just spreading the gospel of beer. I don't know. But, I can give you all the nerdy details. We take our beer really seriously. We have the razzle dazzle marketing, but we back it up with some really, really good beer as well. And so, yeah, it's an exciting package, and it seems to get people's attention. So it's been a blast. And I would just say the best part for me, I'm from Saskatchewan, born and raised. I chose to stay. Some people would say why, but hey, it's kind of fun to do this thing right here at home, and kind of get rid of some of that notion that we are just a bunch of backwards curvy folks, because I don't think we are.
That's it. Like you said, you started off home brewing. When you started off home brewing, did you just homebrew one, particular thing, or did you just keep experimenting in and out with maybe a big group of products, or how'd you do it?
I was basically doing anything and everything. Actually, right behind me, I have a storage cabinet, and I actually pulled out all of the my competition score sheets yesterday. I've got a stack, like hundreds and hundreds. Actually, I won hundreds of medals as a home brewer, obviously entered even more competitions and beers and whatnot. But I just wanted to try anything and everything. I've read all the books. I've got stacks and stacks of books here that go through all the history of beer, detailed history, recipes. I've researched recipes from around the world back to, the 1700s. There's people that know way more than me, but I've put in my time. I've put in my homework. I've done my research. I've brewed a lot of beer. And, the really unfortunate part about brewing lots of beer is that you have to taste it. So, that's the really difficult part,
That's why I love this industry so much, too, is to be able to have all those samples and more samples.
Right. Just a curious question. One more thing.
Yeah.
Is there a beer that you haven't tried?
I have seeked out just about every bizarre kind you can, but there's always new ones being created. I just recently had a peanut butter chocolate chip beer from my buddy Patrick at Outcast Brewing in Calgary. It was phenomenal. So I have no idea how to brew something like that and make it taste good, but I'll be bugging my buddy Patrick for something.
That's the one thing I've seen over the last little while is that now there are flavors with all kinds of different beers. People are mixing stuff like berries and coffees and chocolates and vanillas, and they're mixing everything. Like, I don't know how do you guys do it? Like, are you like a mad scientist, or you're just like picking out stuff and say, we'll throw it in there and we'll see how it works. Like, you look at your beer with the coffee and the
coconut.
Yes, coconut. That's one of my favorite beers. I was drinking that on Saturday night at your tap house.
Coconut.
How the hell do you come up with these different recipes? And there's a lot of trial and error, or what happens?
Yeah, there's a lot of art and a lot of science. Because something sounds good doesn't mean it'll taste good. And so you got to put in the time and the effort and the science. It's a lot about being a chef and really understanding how flavors work together. And of course, everything we do, craft beer, it's all real. We're not using artificial flavors or extracts, which you can kind of get away and cheat with that. Let's say you did make a coconut beer and it didn't quite have enough coconut flavor. A lot of breweries will just, dump in a little bit of coconut extract just to boost that up a bit. And most people aren't any wiser, but that's something we just really try not to do that. We want to do it the honest way. And so, yeah, it's just a lot of research and development. And, I'm really fortunate that, I've got 6 people in the brew make beer for me. They brew all the beer, and they've got a lot of talent and skill themselves. So it's not, a lot of breweries, you maybe have just one person that's kind of in charge of all of that. And frankly, that's a disadvantage. Only one person can only come up with so many things. So we've got a lot of talent and a lot of people that really want to make sure our beers taste awesome.
Now, you were talking about earlier on about the hummus, and I know our last show we were talking with Johann Petros, who's the owner of Haynes Hummus, and he talked to us about the pride that he has about products here in Saskatchewan, about the chickpeas being, here from Saskatchewan. Tell us a little bit about your ingredients and about where some of the hops come from, or what are some of the local ingredients where you're giving back to the people here in Saskatchewan.
Well, I can tell you, our most popular beer is our lentil beer. It's made out of lentils.
Yeah.
And honestly, the reason we started making lentil beer is because I love hummus. And my cousin knew that. And he said, hey, do you want to make a beer with chickpeas? And I said, no, I don't. And he said, well, how about lentils? And I said, oh, I guess. Okay, let's try it. And anyways, turned into our most popular beer. There's a TV show coming out this week that is all about lentils and lentil beers. So, the most of the lentils in the world are produced here in southern Saskatchewan, and nobody was making beer with it. And so, we really flipped the world. Talking about people coming up with crazy inventive beers, nobody has made a lentil beer really until we came along and did it. I got flown around the world to Australia to brew lentil beer there, show them how to do it. I was featured on their Australian national TV and
really?
Dignitaries, and it was unreal, right? And so just because my cousin Tyler, to me that's a pretty cool Saskatchewan story. Our grandpa, he used to run grain elevators. That's what he did, So he was dealing with all the wheat and the oats and the rye and the barley, and we're able to kind of carry on that tradition and I guess in some ways continue to be pioneers. So that's pretty cool.
That's an awesome story. They flew you to Australia to make lentil beer.
That really blew my mind because, like I say, I was a home brewer. I was brewing, 10 or 20 liters of beer on my kitchen stove in a little apartment. And then I remember the morning that we were supposed to go to this big event, and I woke up and I was like, what am I doing in Australia? It's so surreal. But I think it shows, I had previous careers. I was an accountant. I was a IT executive. I wore a suit, this, that, and, did that whole game, which was cool. But, following your passion can lead to things that are so much more better just by, giving it all. And so I hung up the suit and just decided to take on this other persona. And, the whole, I love rock and roll and I love wrestling and I love all sorts of goofy stuff. And I just I'm going to get behind that. I'm going to run with that. And people seem to dig it. So.
Yeah, well, people seem to dig it as right. How's your success all over Saskatchewan? How have the people here kind of adapted to it, and how's it going right now?
I mean, it's awesome. It's amazing. We're seeing great sales. We're in all the big retail stores, and they're telling us that we're outselling a lot of the big breweries that I never imagined would. It just blows my mind. And they tell me that. They say, you're outselling this guy, this guy, and this guy. And I said, I have no idea. Well, good on you. You should be really proud. I said, well, okay. But, again, I think it's just one of those things where, Saskatchewan's ready. Saskatchewan, we kind of are the underdog, and we've been a little too quiet for a long time. We don't like to brag a whole lot. We're very humble, which is a great it's great to be humble, but not when you're in business, because being humble doesn't work too well. And so we just said, we're going to flip the table on that. And we're going to say, Saskatchewan's awesome. We do awesome things here. And we just want to be we're the cheerleader of Saskatchewan. And, we've gotten shout outs from the premier and from all sorts of politicians and this and that. They're just like, yeah, keep going, even if they probably didn't even like our beer or maybe didn't like my haircut, but, it's hard to not get behind, just rooting for Saskatchewan. So we're kind of just running with that. And, frankly, we're trying to I was in this meeting last week. We're trying to duplicate what the Rough Riders have done. I don't know if we'll ever have that same level of success, but hey, they've done a pretty good job of creating that sense of pride and all that. And so we're just trying to do the same thing with beer.
Yeah, that sense of pride, that sense of marketing, that sense of branding, that just it being like a fun atmosphere every time you go to a game. The same thing about Rebellion. Every time you go into Rebellion, it's a fun atmosphere. It's a good place to be. I think it was the only place when I first came to Regina, I like to watch live music and go to I used to go to a place in Calgary. I can't remember what it's called, but they had live music here. And I came here looking for the same kind of atmosphere, somewhere where I can grab a drink, grab a good beer, and just watch somebody perform. And I think your place was the only place in town the first place that I went to, and the only place still that has live music.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you. Again, we're big supporters of live music. Looking forward to getting back to all of that kind of stuff. And it's going to be great. It's going to be great. I think when it's finally, we can do all those things again, it's going to be better than ever because people are going to realize and appreciate it even more, right, now that you've been away from it for so long. Yeah,
and that's the one thing that we really appreciated. Anytime you can go out, and I think there's so many people that miss that chance to go out. COVID has changed the world and in so many ways, but the one thing that here in Saskatchewan, we were talking about it with Johannes before too, is that the fact that there's something about Saskatchewan where people really just gravitate to, and they love being part of everything here. And anytime your beer is getting to be synonymous with that, right, is that it's a Saskatchewan brewery, and you get to see that in all the different stores. And not only in the stores, Mark, but you're seeing the change when you go to on-premise. A lot of the restaurants now, when you go in there, people want to support local, right? They want to support that local beer. So that's got to be different too, and how that's been able to change your marketing and how you be able to deal with business in that regard.
Yeah, again, it's fun. You kind of, I don't know, I guess I just do what I'm going to do, but in some ways you kind of feel like you're leading the way and hopefully inspiring others and kicking open doors and opportunities for other people. Again, we've been happy. We carry Haynes hummus. You know, we carry the local kombucha makers. Like anything that's weird, it's like we want it. And you know, we've been mentioning Saskatchewan a lot. Obviously, I'm from Saskatchewan. I'm excited about it. I've been in some conversations with some folks who say, well, maybe that's kind of self-limiting to just say like we're all in on Saskatchewan. But you know, we've launched our products just recently in Alberta. And I mean, the response is overwhelming, and even across Canada, we constantly get inquiries for our stuff. And you know, again, I think some of that comes back to rooting for the underdog, right?
Yeah.
If you want, I don't know if the right term is lovable losers, because I don't think we're losers. But,
I hope not.
You know, if you go to other parts of the world and say, hey, like, what is Saskatchewan known for? They might not be able to tell you, but you know, it's kind of a weird, funny word, and you know, it kind of grabs your attention. And so, it seems to have some staying power beyond the borders here. So who knows what's in store for the future?
Definitely. And we're going to go to commercial, but after this, when we come back, we're going to talk with Mark, the owner and president of Rebellion Brewing, a little bit more about beers and what are his specific favorites, and a little bit more about how we can support the craft industry here in Saskatchewan. So we're talking about...
And you definitely going to tell me who your barber is.
We'll get into more beers and Mark's barber right after this.
Hi, my name is Rob Peterson. I'm the broker owner of Realty One in Regina. Real estate and life is about great people, and that's why I'm associated with Charleston, Hughes, and Johann Lozinski and IKS to sponsor the Better with Age podcast. Realty One was founded in Regina 11 years ago. It's an independent brokerage, it's local, and it's full of great people helping great local Regina people buy and sell properties. It's entrepreneurial based, which means you have non-narcissistic agents that have your best interest in mind, not their own. In these coronavirus times, real estate market right now in Regina and Saskatchewan is thriving because people are thinking more local. They're not thinking about traveling because we can't, and that's driving our market. When you hire a realtor, no matter who it is, no matter what company, please interview them. Please make sure they're a good personal fit for you, because that's what this is all about. It's good people connecting themselves with someone that they know has their best interest in mind. And that's what the Realty One family does, and that's what a lot of agents in Regina do. But make sure you take your time and find the best fit for you and your family.
It's that time of year when divisions are decided, champions are crowned, and legends are born. Now, it's your turn to win big. You've heard the name just about everywhere, MyBookie. They're the industry's leading online sportsbook and casino, and it's not hard to understand why. With thousands of lines to bet on all your favorite sports, NFL, NBA, and college ball. Check, check, and check. MMA and soccer, they've got all the latest odds, period. Take advantage of MyBookie's prop builder and live in-game betting, where every single run, throw, and touchdown is another chance for you to put cash in your pocket. Visit their mobile-friendly website today and get your deposit matched halfway up to $1,000. Just use the promo code when you make your first deposit. The best part is they make it simple, with a variety of ways to deposit instantly, including credit card, bank transfer, Bitcoin, and more. Whether you're at home or on the go, on your laptop or on your phone, it's not too late to make your New Year's resolution a resolution to get paid. Bet, win, and get paid at MyBookie.
All right, we're back. We're discussing Charleston and my favorite subject, beer, more beer, and barbers. Yeah, we got a
hairstylist.
Okay, so you wanted to ask him right off the bat.
Yeah, right off the bat, man. Who's the hairstylist?
Well, I'll tell you, Megan Pazlowski, she's fantastic. She's in the warehouse district here in Regina at Salon Haze, and she's fantastic. And she, all the folks there, they get a kick when I come in because they know that I'm going to ask for something weird.
So for all our viewers out there who are just listening on audio right now, the best way for me to describe the haircut right now is it's a lot of fun going on at the top. There's a lot of flow, like hockey guys got flow in the back.
Mullet. I think the public term is a mullet. Is it close to a mullet, Mark, or no?
It's full on mullet.
Yeah, business in the front, party in the back.
So, Mark, let's talk a little bit about your beer. I want to talk about what separates Rebellion Brewery from some of the other beers out there in general, and talk about how, tell us a little bit about your brands and some of the products you have.
Well, yeah, like I mentioned, our Lentil Beer has kind of been our #1 seller for quite some time. It's ultimately a pretty light, easy drinking beer. It's been fantastic, easy way to kind of get people to start trying craft beer. But, in the last 6 months or so, our Zilla IPA has started to take over, basically pushing Lentil for the #1 seller. And, we're really passionate. We love our hops. We love hoppy beers. And so to see our customer base kind of, I would say, moving up the chain or just kind of progressing through the whole craft beer thing is pretty neat to see. So we're really proud of our Zilla IPA. We're one of the only breweries in the world that uses whole leaf hops. So that's where I get a little nerdy and technical. Most breweries use what are called pellet hops. So they've been processed and dried and crushed up into like this little kibble. Whereas we're using the cones that grow, and they just dry them and bag them. So you get just a little more of a refined character. So we're really stoked about that. I think that gives us a bit of an edge, makes our IPAs taste that much better. So we do that sort of thing. We've got these solo crush beers coming out, so that's more the hazy hoppy beers. And these solo crushes are a single hop, and so we've got a brand new one coming out using the Pink Boots hops, and that's kind of to celebrate International Women's Day. And people are gonna go crazy for that beer. And the hazy styles of beers are really popular right now. Years ago, people were really offended by beer if it wasn't super clear and polished, and now like the hazier and the thicker, the better. So
I was going to say, honestly, hazy is my favorite. I saw it anytime I go down a little list of what people have on tap. The first thing I usually go for is the haze.
Yeah, so we have a hazy IPA as well. It's a year-round beer, and people love it as well. It's pretty close to selling the same as the Zilla IPA. It's just interesting to see how beer trends change and evolve. And I have my favorites and this and that, but the customer is always right, and so we ultimately want to make beers that people are going to love and enjoy. So we make a lot of hazy beers, and we also make a lot of fruit sours. So we've actually just started brewing our pineapple sour. So we'll have a ton of that coming out. People love our pineapple sour. And people are still guzzling I shouldn't say guzzling, but they're enjoying our raspberry sour. That's going over nuts in Alberta. For some reason, that's our #1 selling beer in Alberta right now. And it's like, hey, you guys love raspberries in Alberta? We'll keep sending it over there.
So talk to me about the sour, because that's something to me as a beer lover. And like you said, my palate has changed. I know personally, my friend Kyle, he was just talking about that on Saturday, about how he drinks more. Before he wasn't an IPA guy. Now he's going more to IPAs. And before I was a lager. Now I'm more of a stout porter type of guy, and be able to do that. Everybody's palates change. But tell us about how the people here in Saskatchewan
don't change that often. I kind of stick to what I know.
Charleston's just plain, and he likes the hazy, and that's it. But tell us about how things have changed here in Saskatchewan. We've seen that from over the last 7 years, there's how many breweries are there now, microbreweries in Saskatchewan? Is it over 20?
Yeah, we have over 20. We're actually having our Saskatchewan Craft Brewers Association. I'm running the annual general meeting tomorrow, so I act as a lead professional for an hour or two at least. So yeah, we're pushing. We're over 20 members, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's
amazing. I think when you look at, I know the story of the Tool Shed and how their owner Graham Sherman. I believe so. He tells an amazing story, and I think I think you can probably relate to some of it. But when he started in Alberta, they were like the 13th brewery to get their license, and now Alberta has like over 130 different breweries popping up all over the place. I see the same kind of trend here in Saskatchewan, the passion that they want to do for products that have Saskatchewan ingredients, but not only that, they want something different. You're seeing all kinds of groups now on social media, and I'm part of one. It's Beer Lovers of Saskatchewan. And people want something different. They're not their dad's Labatt Blue, right? And they're not their Molson Pilsner. I know everybody always associates Saskatchewan's beer as kind of the bunny beer and that green beer, and but it's not. It's changing, right? It's changing for the Rebellions, right? It's changing for more of that local beers, the Pile of Bones, the Rebellions. 21st Street Brewery in Saskatoon. There's more and more high key. There's more and more great breweries that are popping up, and what are you seeing in that regard?
What I would say what's really cool about what's going on in Saskatchewan is that there is an explosion, but it's still very grassroots. I know pretty much everybody that runs a brewery here. And, in Alberta, not that it makes you a bad business or a bad brewery, but, there's a lot of oil money and big corporations and, people, kind of licking their lips thinking, I'm going to invest several millions and, make even more millions, which is not really how craft beer works. But it's pretty cool because I knew tons of these people back when we were just homebrewing. Me and Graham, we were homebrew buddies, even at Toolshed. Like, I knew a lot of these people across Canada. And so for us to go pro and still be friends and still be doing our thing, that's pretty awesome. Graham and I still just trade the odd text message back and forth. Just out of the blue, we'll text each other with some joke or, hey, did you see this? Did you hear that? Or, hey, man, I got some of whatever beer you put out. It's really good. It's a legitimate camaraderie that exists. It's not just a bunch of BS, that we're all a bunch of pals. We literally are pals. We hang out. We want to try each other's beers. We help each other out with recipes, or if you're short ingredients. We were short. I think we were short. No, we were short the snap tops, like the pack onto like a 4-pack of cans. We were short last summer.
Yep.
And so Pile of Bones and Blackbridge and District all lent us some until we could get our next order. That's pretty awesome that 3 breweries were just like, yep, no problem, whatever you need. In any other industry, there's no way a competitor would be, construction guys. Oh, here, just borrow my hammer. I don't need it. Sucks to be you, buddy.
It's a brotherhood. It seems like it's that kind of bond that you guys are developing, and in doing that,
it's like everybody want to see everybody win kind of attitude.
Yeah,
so that's that's good. We all rise together, kind of thing.
Yeah,
not that I'll pull back to football, but like we just we view ourselves as a team, and we're not enemies. We know who our real competitors are and who we're really trying to go up against. And if we're united, we know that we'll all be successful. So that's kind of our approach.
That's awesome, man. So since you said that leads me into my next question about, you said you've been in business for 7 years. So what does Rebellion have planned for the next 7 years?
Yeah, I don't know.
I always got this vision where I'm always going into the future, and I'm going into the future right now, and I want to envision and see, like, okay, 7 years from now, what is Rebellion going to look like? It's going to be massive. It's going to be across all of North America. What's the talk?
Yeah, I think, we really want to stay local, hyper-focused on local. We think there's so much more we can do here. We think there are so many more stories to tell and partnerships. We've done a lot of work here locally with the Regina YWCA. We're going to be doing some really cool charity work this year with Northern Saskatchewan. There's a lot of issues up there around mental health and suicide and drug abuse. And so we really want to, we're going to be working with some of them this year. I get excited about a lot of that kind of stuff. And, I get so many people. Even just right now, people are texting me saying, I need to chat with you, and these are people that run hotels or this or that, or they got ideas. And so I just feel like we just really barely scratched the surface. Again, beer is what we do. We make beer and we sell beer. But, just by telling a lot of those stories, we got a proposal today about having almost like a mini farmer's market at the brewery every weekend this summer. That's pretty neat if we can make something like that happen and support that. So, we do have ideas. We obviously want to sell a lot more beer over the next 7 years. But, we kind of just we'll see where it leads us and what type of partnerships and collaborations fall out of the woodwork. And we just by continuing to be positive and beat that drum, it just seems to bring out the best in people, and just opportunities just keep coming to our doorstep, which is pretty awesome. I don't know. It's a fun way to do business. Again, I understand We make fun of the greasy sales guys. That's kind of what I call it, which is just but and it's not that we never cold call people, but we really we really want people to come to us. And it's not that we're egotistical and saying, nah, you got to come to us because we're so damn good. But we're saying, no, we think what we put out there and what we believe in and what we offer, people should just want to work with us and partner with us. And they do. So that's a pretty fun way to get up every day and go to work.
That was my next question that I wanted to ask, Mark, is that how can we help you guys out? How can we as beer consumers, go out there and being able to, what works best? Do we go out and we always ask for Rebellion when we're in a liquor store or when we're on the road or when we're at a restaurant? What's the best way that we can come and promote a product like yours?
Well, I was talking with my parents yesterday, and they were, I think you would say they were bragging to me that they had gone to a restaurant not too long ago and asked what Rebellion beers they had, and they said, well, we don't have any Rebellion beers right now, so they got up and stomped out. So I don't know if everyone should quite take that hardcore approach. They're pretty into it,
Your parents, yeah, they better be.
Yeah, just stomp out of there. Yeah. What's the best way to support you? Hook a water hose up to the tap at Rebellion.
Yeah, they're pretty chill for the most part. So, but yeah, that's really it. Support. We just say, put your wallet spend your dollars where you think it counts and is meaningful. And it's not just about Rebellion. It's about other local businesses, other things that you really care about, and tell your friends about it. Share things with them. I tell folks. Because there's so much going on right now, and there's so much noise in everything, and not just beer, but other products, other restaurants, other clothing, whether you're watching YouTube or Netflix, there's a lot of things to take away your attention. And, the best thing you can do for somebody sometimes is just buy them something. I dropped off some gifts for some people on the weekend and just be like, try this, and it doesn't have to be expensive or anything, but a lot of people would say, yeah, I've heard of that, but, it's hard to find the time maybe to go and check out some little, unique vintage shop or something downtown or something, or some place that has some really good cookies. Well, just go buy some cookies for some friends and hand them around, that's... Who doesn't love getting free cookies or free beer or whatever?
That's
special cookies.
That's two of my favorite foods are beer and cookies. So I'm definitely going to be going and buying a bunch for my friends. But that's awesome, Mark. I know that you're always you can see it in your pride and your passion with how you represent Regina, whether that's your marketing ability and experience Regina, your shirts, or you're saying, be a rebel and drink great beer. I mean, you can see it in the way that you go out and represent yourself and your company, is that you love your community and that sense of being from Saskatchewan and going out and supporting your own. And I know that you've done this many times. You go out to some of the businesses in and around the warehouse district there, and you just go and drop off some of your beer for some of those people that, like you said, sometimes they just, who doesn't like free beer? To be able to go and have that. That's one of the best things you can do, and maybe go out and purchase Rebellion or your local breweries, purchase a beer and go out and give people some joy, some love with beer.
Oh, yeah, 100%, because I like the way you said you support YWCA. That's one of the charities that I support, too, and I do a lot of work for them. So even when you're putting that whole aspect out there about, supporting charities and giving back and, doing what you can throughout the community to support local. And even when we just said that we want to step out and try to help you in the best way we can, even how our viewers can get out and help you the best way they can, and you instantly hit it with a racket and then said, support local is the best way you can do it. So not just me, but whoever you deem to, support as your local entity, get after it.
Yes, just get to know your friends and neighbors, right? A lot of that's been lost nowadays. I lived in the warehouse district, but I used to live, out in the suburbs. Now it's fine. And honestly, I'll admit myself, I didn't really know my neighbors, right? But I was like, this is sad. And there's value in that when you get to know people, or just make their day and drop some beer off or this or that, shovel their sidewalk, hey, it means so much just to know that somebody else cares about you, and you can see them and thank them. Yeah, it sounds hokey and maybe sentimental, but
No, I mean,
I don't know.
Mark, in today's world with everything going on with COVID, and you touched base about mental health, even these little things can help, I think, generate some positivity in a world that we needed, all the positive things to be able to go our way. So that's awesome. I wanted to, last question, I wanted to ask this one because we didn't get a chance to touch base about it before. Tell me a little bit about these sours, because when I think about a sour beer, first thing comes up to me and I'm going, ew, that bitterness or anything like that. But tell me a little bit about that pineapple sour. That's something that, when's it going to be available, and what's the flavor profile with that? Does it have like a bitter, because sours to me, it kind of gives the wrong impression, right? Yeah. But tell me a little bit about that pineapple sour. I want to hear more about that.
Right, so there's all sorts of different types of sour beers. We try to make fruit beers, and we try to make them relatively balanced. We don't want to make them bracingly sour, where it like puckers and like hurts you in the back of the neck. Like
Yeah.
So by adding some really good fresh fruit, you get some sugar from the fruit, and it just kind of brightens it all up. And then I just think about like sour candies, and that's kind of what we're going for. So if you're into sour candies, you'll probably enjoy our fruit sours. So we've kind of got a series we kind of rotate throughout the year. So pineapple is coming out. It'll be coming down the pipe in a couple of weeks, and it'll be around most of the spring. We're making a lot of it, and it'll be available across Saskatchewan and Alberta. And I'll tell you right now, the next one coming up after that for summer as well is kiwi. We've never made a kiwi one before, so I hope people like it. I don't know, but that's where you find out. So we bought like a couple 1,000 pounds of kiwis, and we'll find out.
Wow,
that sounds good right there. That's what I'm saying. Like, how did you come up with these flavors? Like, do you just try to find the one thing out there that we haven't used?
Lentils.
Yeah.
Well, your cousin Tyler, thank him for that. That's awesome. And then now you're getting into the sour business. That's awesome. Mark, it's always a pleasure to speak to you. Where can we find out more about Rebellion via your social media outlets? Yeah,
we're hyperactive on social. We really like to engage and talk back and forth. So have some fun. We're really active on our Facebook, on Twitter, and Instagram. We're starting to get into TikTok, because that's what all the kids are into. But yeah, you can find us on. You don't have to look too far, and you'll find us. And we'll be chatting right back at you. We're not just the faceless social media accounts.
And that's one of the things. It's people, if you want to watch entertainment and get some good education about that, Mark and the people at Rebellion are your best bet, because it is priceless. Like I said, with Mark's barber right there and that haircut, how could you go wrong with somebody like that? So, Mark, thanks a lot. I really appreciate it. We wanted to, we're always looking to be able to help and support. Go out and have a few Rebellion beers. We're going to leave it with Charleston always kind of says his famous last words, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate coming on the show, man. We'll probably be in there right after this to go. No, it's closed on Mondays.
Yeah.
Come on, what's up with that?
We're working on it.
That's all we need to hear. There you go.
We're working on it. No, but thanks for coming on the show, man. This is the Better with Age webcast. The reason we call it the Better with Age webcast, because there's many things that get better with age. There's beer, there's wine, there's whiskey, there's leather, there's cheese, all these great, wonderful things. But the most important of them all is friendships. So now that you're a friend of Johann, you're a friend of mine, welcome to the Better with Age crew.
This is awesome, you guys. I love it. It felt good. It was fun chatting with you. It felt like we've always been friends, so this was easy.
Right on, right on.
You.
Mark,
Appreciate
thanks
it.
again. Good luck with everything. We love your passion. Don't change a thing. Keep on going with that barber.
The hair out. Grow it out.
Mustache, the vote for Pedro
and
shirts.
then when it get a certain length, just get it braided.
My wife did that a couple days ago. It's not quite ready yet. So
All right. Thanks, Mark, for everything. Good luck with everything, and we'll see you at your brewery soon.
Sounds great. Cheers, guys.
Thanks.